Hi there guys, and welcome to another Trains from 2018 video. Today we are doing something it's very current, is probably the best way to describe it, isn't it? And it's also showing off a new piece of work by Ash Clark. So this is the run down to Windermere that West Coast Rail Company are now doing instead of Northern due to their own issues, which we won't go into too much on here. I looked at this happening and thought, actually, that'd make a really good scenario. We've got the route, we've got the stock to a point, but we didn't have the 37 on a decent 37. We have it on the very old Coogee 37. So I said this to Ash, and Ash, within about 3 days, has come up with this wonderful reskin. So for reasons to show off the reskin more than anything, this set will run in reverse formation. So in real life, it was the 57 that went down to Windermere. This time we're taking the 37 down to Windermere, and then it'll be back to Oxenholme with the 57. So we've reversed the formation. So understand that bit for me. It isn't exact. It's to also show off the reskin as well. So it will work. It will work. It's not perfect, but it works. And Ash has done a brilliant job with the scenario. Haven't driven it yet. I've done this bit up to the head shunt, and that is it so far. Anything after that, I've not seen. So you'll be seeing it first time with me. Again, just like my previous video on the Aylesbury branch, I do actually have to have the aircon on. You shouldn't hear it. It should be being blocked out, but my audio might not sound as crisp just due to the filters. Hopefully once it's cooled down enough, I can turn it off anyway, which will change the audio slightly, but you will be fine and not notice it. So morning driver, when ready, set off to the head shunt, from where you will then head to the up and down goods loop, and finally Oxenholme to start 2 Zulu 01 to Windermere. Fantastic. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this beast, and we'll have more of a look as we're going along. Looking lovely. Let's get some lights on, and let's get some instrument lights on here. Let's get our DRA off. Sticker into neutral, and then take the brake down. Stick it into off. Helps if I was in forward before we put it on, though, wouldn't it? So I unfortunately still haven't got the Bossman Games Black 5 yet. I do need to purchase it and give it a go, even though I'm not a massive Steam man. I owe it to them, really. It's a phenomenal bit of kit from the sounds of it. So that's just the Coogee Black 5. It's a Carnforth. Nice, busy looking little Carnforth. I like it. So this whole thing has a lot to do with it. To me, the West Coast Railway side of it is a bit, I don't know. West Coast Railway Company have stepped in to do this with no fares or anything set at the moment. Tim Fallon, the MP, had a lot of getting it started and running, and I think after a video I watched that Northern had said it was okay for them to run this service. I'm not sure of the politics behind it. I haven't looked into it enough. I do apologise. I find it quite strange, but I find it quite good. I quite like the fact that West Coast Railway Company have stepped in to do this. I don't really care if it's a PR stunt or what. We've got some top and tailed loco haul traction on the main line running a regular service, which is always nice. It's always nice to see. So I can't really complain. I'm not really complaining at all. I'm pleased with it. I think after some of the incidents recently, in the not so distant past, with the professionalism questions about West Coast Railway Company's driving policies or procedures. Oh, it's 5 miles an hour here. I think they could do with some good press, really, couldn't they? So if they've done it for that reason, I've got no issue. The actions of a few don't speak for the many, do they? And I've always quite liked West Coast Railway Company. I mean, I've never really had much to do with them. But they seem to keep a lot of older stock going. They support masses of charters throughout the year. And if you look back at how many charter companies have gone bust in the last 20 years, West Coast Railway Company must be doing something right to have not gone bust yet. So fair play to them. And this service will be massively helping out the businesses of Windermere and stuff with the tourist season being in full swing. It's great. It shows, I suppose, what can be done. Because if they are operating it for very little money or less money or no money at all, it can't be cheap. 2 locos, 3 crews, 3 crews it must be, covering it all. It's probably a fair amount of money. You might think, oh, he's gone into emergency there. I've got to go into emergency to switch into the 57, otherwise it doesn't like it. I can't remember if I have to be off or on. Yeah, I can't cancel the AWS. Let's put you into on. Put into on. Now I can't cancel the AWS in here. So let's flip back. At least that's not going to be killing your ears. Right. No. Let's just remember to press the AWS cancel button. We don't seem to have the brake movement, but I'm not too fussed. We're not driving this for long. Oh, extra speed. Because we'll be taking the 37 down to Windermere anyway. It is irritating when the scripting of 2 locos doesn't work, but it's just how it's got to be, really. A lot of locos have been scripted differently. A lot of AP stuff works with each other, which is nice. It's actually pretty good at AP. It can't be easy to make sure that everything works with everything else. Well, I don't know, it might be, and I just don't understand it all. It's a possibility. Missing texture. It's an Albi reskin, actually. I don't know why that's missing. I'm sure Ash will put in on the splurge about what needs to be happening. So, morning driver, due to a temporary timetable being put in place, Northern suspended service from Oxenholme to Windermere. Thankfully, West Coast Railway Company have stepped in to provide a limited service from Oxenholme-Windermere using 3 Mark II coaches, top and tail by 2 locos. State of 37669 and 57316. Start by making your way out to Carnforth, Steamtown, onto the West Coast main line, then call at all stations from Oxenholme and Windermere. Have a safe trip. I don't think the first journey actually did. I think the first journey was... I think it just stopped at Kendal and Windermere. I'm not sure. I don't know what one Ash has put this has done this to. Dump those brakes that were into emergency. Let's take this completely off. Let's turn the lights off. Let's get our lights on in here. Do we have headlights on? Tail lights on, perfect. Headlights. Instrument lights are on. Looks like we can cancel the WS bell, which is nice. And we can brake. Hang on. I should be switching in, should I? Yes, I am. We'll do a quick run and brake test. Okay. Oh, there's some weird blue stuff going on there, Ash. We'll have to have a look at that. This is why I get these pre-release things. People always go, oh, you've got something we haven't. It's like, yeah, I get the bit before it's done. I have to put up with it. So this will be released as the video goes out anyway, so it's not going to be like one of those things where it's released and you're waiting weeks for it. It will be out as the same time as this video goes live. Well, it should be, I say that. Now I found out the issue, I don't know. Something pretty satisfying about 37 rumble in there. was actually a 37 I drove up at the Wensdale Railway, and this 37 out of all the ones on Train Sim seems to be the ones that, it's like nowhere near exact, but it responds pretty well. We're only about a minute late as well, that ain't bad for me. This is also one of my favourite routes as well. Not necessarily a run down to Windermere. I have covered it before. And you will need to get the workshop route down to Windermere. You'll need to make sure you have that installed, otherwise the scenario, I think it'll work, but you won't have any scenery. I think it was track but no scenery. If you get the workshop for Windermere extension, it adds the scenery, and I think that's how it works. Losing time, and I seem to be picking up speed very slowly. I wonder. No brakes are on there. Okay. No hand brakes are on. Nope. Let's just be the gradient. I don't know what the limit would be for these either. What was the 37.485? I don't remember. 80? 80. The Mark 2s can do 80, 59, 57. 57 do. Yeah. 57 do. Suspicion they're 90 capable, wouldn't they? .95 on a 57.3, which is what I think these are. Yeah. I'm not one of these mad for clag type people, but I do still quite enjoy it. There's something very nice about a large mechanical noise, isn't there? And then there's also the actual absolute luxury and calmness and serenity of sitting in these Mark IIs because they sound beautiful. Watching the West Coast go by. Oh, this would be the lovely Lake District anyway, wouldn't it? The part of Britain I haven't explored properly either. It was always somewhere that was just sort of on the way. It was always on the way to Scotland, wasn't it? So. TPE service going past. It is looking lovely. I mean, I'm no fan of West Coast Railways livery. I think they paint their diesels in that livery because their coaches are that colour and they tend to be at the back of steam charters a lot of the time. So I can understand why they are. It's just a bit plain for me. I always sort of wonder whether West Coast really want diesel. I mean, I know they want diesel locomotives, but do they enjoy keeping these heritage fleets going, or is it they're just kind of a necessity because of the amount of steam charters they do? I don't know. I'm sure anybody that works in any of these older locomotives is going to be somewhat passionate about them, aren't they? And I'm sure there will be those that are very passionate about and those that are not that passionate. When I asked Ash about this, I thought I was just going to get literally Oxenholme to Windermere. And then when he said he'd put sort of the shunt move in for the depot and then the run up to Oxenholme, I was, is that going to be too long for a video? I was like, nah, it's going to be really good. And it has, it's turned out well so far, I'm enjoying it. It's nice to actually give it a good blast, because the rest of it, I think 60 is our max speed, going down to Windermere, isn't it? the threes. It's the old 390 in the platform there. I can tell that without looking at it because I've got 50 FPS. Don't get me wrong, I love the new 390 to drive, but by God, is it driving me crazy. Trying to get a scenario that is usable, that is a videoable scenario, it's been a nightmare. Very high. I think that might be to do with the cab FOV. Oh no, we were actually touching there. Oh, we've got some Chris's. From what I hear, there was quite a few spotters that got a bit lucky, really, or fotters, or train fans, or train enthusiasts, whatever you like to call yourselves. Well, it was the press run. It wasn't actually supposed to take passengers, but then it ended up taking loads of tourists, from what I hear, just got on. so it ended up being a service, which was quite nice. Right, how am I going to get this in that this looks right? It's Chris and Ash. Should we call them Chris and Ash? It's like DT, Dovetail Games camera they've got. Nathan Smith, that's one for you. So Kendal next. Then it's 10 miles. It's not that far, is it at all? Kendal, Burnside, Staveley. oh, it's quite exciting. It's quite nice knowing that this ran, the first ran on Father's Day, which was last Sunday. It's very current. It's always nice to get a really current run, a really current scenario in Train Simulator. It's nice to do some of the 90s stuff and stuff that happened a few years back or last year's timetable and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes getting something fresh, right, very quick. I mean, it was relatively easily done because it's just a single line, so there's not much AI or anything you've got to worry about. But it's still nice. Especially, it's not the most detailed of extensions down to Windermere, but it's still nice little run, a nice little addition to the West Coast Main Run over Shat. I don't know if I've planned this stop quite correctly. Yeah, no, I should do alright. So something in that ramp at 20, I'm happy. Plenty of spotters out for this one, and this is the sort of thing that this sort of train does bring. Gets all those people out and about that want to go and see it, and gives people something to go out and see. That fit quite nicely. Now, like I said at the start of this isn't exactly how this service ran. This has been edited to work in Train Sim a little bit better. There was some quite long stops and stuff. Ash has edited them out to make it a little bit quicker. It's nice, isn't it? Oh, mind out, birds. There's actually very little difference between sort of the last sort of 10% of the power handle on the 37 that I drove. Sound-wise, there wasn't. It was very little. And actually, if I remember rightly, the sounds that the 37 I drove were the sounds that were used for this when they did their previous recording session with it. So. So just a reminder for those guys, because it's bi-directional where we're working here, those little salt tire flags you're seeing, they mean basically ignore the AWS belt's about to go off. It's because you're going the wrong way over it. Those ones there. Another spotter. All right, mate. Idling pretty hard. I might have copied the wrong geo over or something for that. Just seems a bit lackluster. I think there's a slight scripting issue going on, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, fire limit. We'll kind of ignore it. Just to come back to start this thing up again. I know because I'm not getting any brake pressures, so I'm knowing that the brakes are off. I always thought this part of this route was slightly more detailed than this. Well, it's a good few years old now. It's definitely something not quite right. I'll try something when we get to Staveley. You can just think of it as a slightly dragging brake. Keep trying to overcharge it, but won't do it. There's a reason I'm going this hard on the brakes. whack it back up into emergency, then back down again. And I think I already did that before Oxenholme, didn't I? Hey. Okay, that's cool. Bogey pressure still haven't come down. High pressure, but bogey's coming down there. Oh, I don't actually start moving. Yeah, start moving. Slight roll back. Nobody moaned. I wonder if my coach brakes are actually on. I don't know. Feels like it. It's alright, we're only 3 miles away now anyway, aren't we? It's been a fun run anyway. I've really enjoyed it actually. Like some very hot axles and wheels when we get to Windermere. Brings a smile to my face. And I know very few people, nobody does anything for money, for nothing, do they? But part of me really hopes that West Coast Railway Company are doing this as a sort of community project. I don't expect any company to do that. I mean, businesses have got to make money, but it'd be nice to think they did. I hope they did. Doesn't seem like a brake problem because I'm not massively losing speed. I'm about to go downhill, so in theory it should still creep up. Overcooked that. Oh no, 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 no. We should make. We might have a nice little touch of the buffers there. Oh. It was a hard stop. Driver still learning, you see. Still learning. Route learning. It's route knowledge issue, that was. Alright then, guys. Thank you ever so much for joining me for another Tradesman 2018 video. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. If you have already subscribed, please make sure you hit that little bell so that you get my notifications as soon as they come through. Heading over to the Facebook page for tech support and a good giggle. Always train stuff, really. Join me over on Twitch on a Sunday night from 7 o'clock onwards and a Wednesday night from 7 o'clock onwards. It's more adult themed, so do be aware of that. So I'd prefer you to be old enough to buy a drink, probably. Well, you know what I mean. It's up to you guys, but I take no responsibility for it. So, once again, guys, thanks ever so much and all the best. Catch you next time.